Hello y'all, this is Amanda, and you have reached Tat Mama and the Big Brigade on our channel, and I'm so glad you did, because today we're going to talk about knitting looms. One of my favorite things in the whole world is a knitting loom, and today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what loom you should get, what loom does what, and what size should you get for what project. Okay, so this here, I got these at Michael's for $5. This is a 3/8 gauge baby hat loom. You see how tiny that is? That is 3/8 gauge. Okay, this will make a baby hat. It doesn't look, it looks bigger than it's bigger than you think. It will make a toddler hat. But the reason why it's bigger than you would expect it to be is because it's a small gauge. Meaning that when you take this off the loom, you give it to someone, they won't be able to tell that you did this on a loom, because this makes such tiny stitches. Pardon my stumbling over my own words, but this makes real tiny stitches, and the tiny stitches look like they were done with needles. So this is I haven't actually completed a hat on these because I haven't long gotten these. So these are very new to me. And this one, this lovely tiny little thing, makes baby booties. I'll probably use it before I use this one, because this is tiny. And how adorable are baby booties? I mean, really, baby booties, come on. So baby booties and baby hats. Can you make other things with this? Can you make flat things with this? Of course you can. You can go wherever your imagination wants to go. There's a tutorial for everything. You just have to let your fingers do the walking. Okay? Now, loomahat.com, I have not seen her have tutorials, or at least I haven't looked deeply into her playlist for tutorials on these are KB looms, by the way. These are KB looms, which are very good quality looms. These are not fly-by-night looms. These are good quality looms. This has got some weight to it. It's a very good quality loom. The only complaint I had about this loom is that the pegs will pop out on you. So me being me, and this is not recommended to everybody, this is just my personal preference. Now, you may not want to do this, but this is something that I did do, and because of my preference, because I don't have a desire to do very complicated stitching that requires you to remove pegs. So I got some good old super glue, and I glued down all my pegs, because I got tired of being in the middle of a stitch, and the next thing I know, boop, there goes my peg right out in the middle of my daggum stitch. That just drove me bonkers. So all my looms, I would say probably 85% of my looms have the pegs super glued in, and there's nothing wrong with that on my side. I mean, you may not want to do that, but if you do it, make sure that you don't have an immediate need for that loom upon gluing that loom. So if you're going to super glue it, make sure that the glue that you don't, and I do not recommend Gorilla Glue. Do not get Gorilla Glue for your loom, because Gorilla Glue expands and bubbles. Do not get it. It's not good. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because it not only expands and bubbles, it peels right back off. And then you haven't glued anything. I made that mistake already. That's how come I can tell you. Just get plain old, regular, run-of-the-mill super glue. That Loctite stuff works just fine. And just point it right there at the very crevice of the bottom of where that peg goes in, and just shoot you a little bit in there. You know, just go and yes, go to each peg and just put a little dollop in there. It doesn't take very much, and then set it aside for 24 hours. Don't touch it for 24 hours. because you want that to stay, and you don't want it to touch anything for 24 hours. Because if you try to do a project in the next 24 hours with glue, and yes, it does glue quickly, and you think that it's done, but just don't be on the safe side, and for your own peace of mind, don't touch it for 24 hours. That way you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's completely dry and you're completely safe to run a project through this loom. So KB, they sell these two together, and they are on Amazon. I forget which size exactly these are, but these are for babies, and you can definitely get these on Amazon. I got them on a clearance for $5, but that's not their normal price. Their normal price is quite a bit more. These smaller gauge looms, they're a little bit more than what you're going to pay for a larger gauge loom. I don't know why, but it is definitely that way. So I'm going to set these over here, and I'll go over the next one. These set of 3 are the 3/8 loom, okay? Now these are also the ones that will make it look like you have knitted your hat or whatever other project with knitting needles. This has 80 pegs. This next one, this white one, I believe it was 72 pegs. And this one, I think it was 60 or 66 pegs. I'm sorry, the purple one. Now I paid, I want to say 16 or 17 for these 3 on Amazon, but they were on sale. They were, and I bought them because I knew that eventually someone was going to ask me for a smaller gauge hat and scarf, and so I wanted to be prepared. Now I will be trying and converting over some knit hat patterns with this one right here, because when I was reading a recent pattern that I bought that said cast on for 80 stitches, guess what? This has 80 pegs. So that means to me that I can use this loom to make that hat, because I can cast on for 80 pegs, just like you can cast on in that pattern for 80 stitches, or so that means to me that that's going to be a little more doable than I originally thought, trying to convert that needle knitted pattern to a loom knitted pattern. At least that's the goal. All right, and these are the ones that I started with, the larger gauge looms. Now I do have one missing because it's down here in a project right now. But these are, I believe these are 1/2 inch. Let's see. Let's get it. Look, I got a ruler right here, so we're gonna give that a measure and see. Where is that? Yep, there it is. These are about 1.5 inches. About 1.5 inches. Now, when I use these, and I'm gonna hold one up close. This one that has 36 pegs, and I use this one for youth hats or people with small heads hats. Or if I'm knitting something that I want to knit flat, like a scarf, see, you put this one like this on your head. Oh, this is going to fit my head. Not necessarily. Yes, I just look completely silly with a loom on my head. Now when I did my hat not hate hats, I did a bunch of them with this because it was quick and easy, and I'm knitting them for children. So I just did a quick little knitted hat, no problem. I do use 2 strands of worsted weight acrylic yarn or any other kind of yarn, or 1 strand of bulky 5 or 6. Now I haven't ventured out and gotten anything smaller than a worsted weight 4. I don't waste my money on anything smaller than a worsted weight 4 because I know I'm not gonna use it, or I'm gonna have to double or triple it up, and then by then I could have just went and bought the 4. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But these are 1.5 inches, as I just measured with my ruler, okay? And there's this one for your youth hats, this one for like making gloves and stuff like that. I've made fingerless gloves with this one. It's pretty cool. And then this one is for big hats. This is 40 pegs, okay? And this actually will go over my head. You're supposed to be able to make cowls with this and have it fit, but it doesn't fit around my neck because I don't really particularly like things around my neck. I have reasons for that, but I have another loom that goes with this set that makes 4, but I'm currently using that one for another project to make another scarf. The scarf itself will be about 6 inches across, and the lady wants it to be 6 foot long. Yes, 6 foot long. So that's what this one's currently working on. All right, this is what's known as a rectangular loom. Okay, rectangular looms can be used for a number of things. Some people use them for rectangular hats or purses, or just really whatever you want to use it for. Now let's take our handy dandy ruler here, and we will see how much space is between these. And it looks like we got about a 1/2 inch between pegs. So you got about half an inch to an inch between pegs on this one. And I think I paid about $10 for this one at Hobby Lobby. Now the four round ones, I got those at Hobby Lobby for about $16. So, and that's when I first started back in February or March. So not too far, not about 5 or 6 months ago. And I just priced a set of the round ones the other day, and those are running about $16.99. So they're still around the same price. And if you wanted to get into looming, that's probably the cheapest thing to get into right now, because everything's in the package. You get the loom, you get a pick, you get a little plastic needle to weave in your ends, and I mean, you know, you get everything you need in the one package. So, you know, at least you get that. So there's that. And this is the one that started it all. So this is a big rectangular one. This actually, this little middle part moves. So, and this, let me see what we're dealing with here. This indeed is, let's see, a 1/2 inch right on the button. This is a 1/2 inch. A 1/2 inch space between pegs here. And I have also glued these in because this was a nightmare until I did. So, but you can move this here. This will actually unscrew from the sides. You can unscrew, and you can move this all the way to the end if you want to use the whole loom, or if you just want to use part of it, you can, you know, put it in the middle. So it's very handy. And the peg, and these are actually numbered on both sides. They're numbered so that you can get an idea of how many, you know, how many pegs you're using. And I made my first baby blanket on this one, and it worked out okay. It worked out okay. So it just, you know, it depends on what you want to do with this one. I believe I paid about $15, $16 for this one. It's a very heavy duty plastic, very sturdy, and you know, not likely to break on you. So this, I would definitely recommend this one. This one also came from Hobby Lobby, and as of the other day, they still do have these. So, and last but not least, the Sandwood loom. This is my most recent loom that my lovely oldest son bought me, or gave me the money and told me to order for myself. This is a 120 peg loom. This is my most expensive loom, but this is my most well-made loom. Now, I haven't glued the pegs in on this one, and that's just because I don't have the heart to as of yet. But they do come out. I have noticed they do come out. But 120 pegs, and these are 5/8. Now that I do know. I don't have to look that up. I do know. And currently I'm using a chunky cake, rainbow chunky cake on here, and hoping to make a poncho. So that'll be part of another video as well. That'll be in the works in progress video that will be later uploaded. Anyway, so I don't have any tutorials right now. Maybe in the future I will do tutorials. I'm not quite confident enough to do that as of yet. But I did want to go over with you all the looms that I currently own, and maybe give you some pricing options as to if you wanted to, you know, join the looming family. As far as knowing how to loom, it's really not hard at all. There are so many tutorials out there. Probably the one that I learned the most from would be loomahat.com, and then there's Tutelette. I'm probably butchering that, but that's also a YouTube channel that has lots of looming videos. But if you do a search by looming videos, loom knitting videos, there's so many, and so many good teachers out there. You don't need me to teach you. There's so many other people, and I'm not that great at it anyway. I'm still learning. You know, I'm decent at it, but I wouldn't call myself terribly professional or anything. But anyway, that's what I know about loom knitting. As far as my current set of looms, that's what I have, and that's what they cost me. Oh well, now the big Cind wood loom. It's a small business, and I guess she makes them. But that one cost me about $71 on sale. So that one was a pricey one, but well worth it. It's beautiful. I really enjoy it. It's one that I really wanted for a long time, and I was really blessed that my oldest son decided to help me get that one. So that's the most expensive one I have. I probably won't spend that much on any others. It's just something special I got. I don't know, my birthday's in October, so maybe. I don't know if I want any more looms for my birthday, though. I'd much rather have Joe Bonamassa tickets, but those things are expensive. He's coming to Shreveport, but can this mama afford it? No. They want over $100 for the nosebleed tickets. Ugh, breaks my heart. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for sticking with me this far on my loom video. Adopt, don't shop as far as your babies, your fur babies, that is. Because most of us at this age have grown children. Anyway, love you. Bye.